Okay, so welcome back, and now we're going to talk about algebraic formulas. So now that we've gone through the basic terminology and things to remember as far as the, basic terminology, I should say, and as far as how we denote or connote certain things using algebra, algebraic expressions, factors, terms, division, multiplication, parentheses, all of those things are important as a foundation of what we're going to continue to do next. And so starting with that is going to be formulas. So what is a formula? An algebraic formula is a way of calculating a value when we're given other values. Okay, it's a rule. So a formula, an algebraic formula, is a rule that's used in calculating a specific value when we're given other values. And the formulas are given in algebraic expressions or using algebra because, one, it's easy to remember, and it's easy to calculate, and it's very simple to see. So it's compact, right? So we use a lot of formulas in order to calculate many, many different things in many different contexts and many different industries, okay? In trades, in the scientific community, in physics, mathematics. So a lot of the stuff that we learn in mathematics has application outside of mathematics, and that's where algebraic formulas find a lot of use, okay? So here are some formulas. Okay, so again, a formula is a rule for calculating the numeric value of one quantity from the values of other quantities. Okay, so here's the rule. It's called Ohm's law. The voltage in volts across a simple resistor is equal to the product of the current, which is represented by I, in amperes, or amps, through the resistor and the value of its resistance, capital R, in ohms. Okay, so here's the formula, okay? So again, the voltage is equal to the product of the current and the resistance. So the voltage is equal to the product of the current and the resistance. So again, the units, this is measured in volts. Current is measured in amps or amperes. And resistance is measured in ohms. Okay, so there's one formula. Here's another formula. And here's the rule. The detention time, T, in a basin is equal to 24 times the basin volume in cubic feet divided by the flow in gallons per day. Okay, so let's see that. So what they're saying is the detention T, the detention time T in a basin is equal to 24 times the volume V divided by the flow F. So what do we get? We get, it doesn't give a law, but okay, so it's time, so this is the detention time. So time is equal to 24 times the volume, V, divided by the flow, F. And again, they give the units, right? So the units are given. Always, whenever there's a formula, there's always units given. So always pay attention to the units. So there's another formula. So here's another formula. The number of standard bricks, N, needed to build a wall is about 21 times the volume of the wall. Let me read that again. The number of standard bricks, N, needed to build a wall is about 21 times the volume of the wall. Well, what's the volume of a wall? Okay, so here's the number of bricks, right? So N is the number of bricks, and so they're saying it's about 21 times the volume of the wall. Well, what's the volume of the wall? Well, what's the volume? Height, width, length. It's the product of those two. So the volume of the wall, so instead of saying volume of the wall, you could say it's 21 times, right? The length of the wall times the width of the wall times the height of the wall. And so if you know these dimensions, which is really easy to measure, right? Instead of just being given the volume, it's much easier just to deal with the dimensions, right? Length, width, and height. Okay? So if you know the length, width, and height of the wall, which again is easier to measure, then you can calculate the number of bricks you'll need, approximately, to build that wall. So those are examples of formulas. Now, evaluating formulas. So how do you evaluate the formula? So once you have a formula, right? Evaluating, so the word evaluate means just to find an answer. That's really what we're talking about. When we're saying, hey, we want to evaluate a formula, we have an algebraic expression that represents a particular quantity that we want to calculate. That's what a formula does. To evaluate that formula means to plug in values of the variables that are given in order to find the value of the unknown variable. And, excuse me. For example, in this example here, if we wanted to evaluate the volts, then we would be given, for example, for a particular current and for a particular resistor with a particular resistance, then we would just plug in these values and then calculate what the volts would be, the voltage would be given that situation. So that would be evaluating the formula. Okay, so what are the steps to evaluating the formula? Well, the first step is to substitute in the numbers. Okay, so we're going to place the numbers being substituted in parentheses and then substitute them in the formula. And then once we do that, then the step 2 is to carefully, and I emphasize, carefully evaluate, carefully do the arithmetic. Okay, again, paying attention to parentheses, the order of operations. Okay, so, excuse me. So again, that's the 2 steps. It's really a 2-step process. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to come back in the next video and we're going to start doing examples. And again, just so we can make sure everybody's on the same page. Have a great day.